Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to Stellaris, with, of course, the new Roman Empire being led by Emperor Appy, at least till he dies, which probably won't be for quite a while. 145 is when he dies. Ugh. So basically, he's not even halfway. He's not even halfway to his death yet. Of course, obviously, there's always a chance that he'll accidentally kick the bucket, but yeah, he'll be fine for the most part. So, when last we left off, we found a new alien civilization, and we're making plans to deal with our rivals. Oh, and of course, we're dealing with the fact that we're getting the last of our probes. Aha, and there we are. So, last of our probes has been found, no more danger, so we're sending our fleet back home. Ah, dang it. And one of our council members developed a new negative trait, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. And we're still finding low stability. That's when you need to start worrying about rebels. That's when you need to start worrying about rebels. So what do? Simple. We just add more soldier jobs. That's all we do. We just add more soldier jobs. That'll stabilize the economy. Make more soldiers. Oh, I laugh, but honestly, that is going to stabilize it a little bit. Ah, and of course, I'm going to need to go and get some more alloys. I also should probably get some more minerals. I kind of want to get more minerals, but I don't have the... Well, I do have the trade to get more minerals, just not as many as I want to get. Huh? Yep. Okay, so we just discovered our new alien race, yada yada, and we could nab them, but we need a ship that could actually see some of them. So instead, we'll just keep at it and go the slow route. It's not entirely a bad thing to do the slow route. After all, even a xenophobic, militaristic empire needs friends. So, yep, we're still far from getting our naval capacity to where it should be, or where we want it to actually start our little war here. Because right now they are basically slightly better than us. They're slightly better than us. Their ship power is equivalent to us. Their economy is as good as ours. The only thing they're better than us at is technology. And that's going to be a running theme for, well, pretty much every empire. I'm just not that focused on technology. I don't really care too much about technology and getting it, upgraded. I should probably be, but I'm not. Alrighty. And yeah, I'm going to keep building more and more ships. And while I'm thinking about it, I can go into the Fleet Manager, which is your, basically where you can manage each and every one of your fleets. You can basically change the composite of it. like how many is in each and adding new ships onto it. As you can see, we only have the corvettes, despite the fact that various technologies act like we have the frigates. But until we get any torpedoes, like space missiles, they won't be up. They won't be unlocked. Frigates. Frigates are basically just the missile ships. Basically, you slap a bunch of missiles on them. In fact, if I want to, I could just go into here, and this specifically is what our corvettes look like. You'll see we already got missiles on here, as well as normal guns. But what I'm talking about is... nope. Looks like the corvettes don't have them. Is a specific missile or bomb type slot. You'll see here, these are all weapon slots, or normal standard small weapon slots. There's also the picket ship that can have a basically a point defense, basically to fight off any sort of missiles. I'm not about to even try to act like I know how that works. I normally just follow what other people do and go along with that. And here we have our science ship. And it appears our science ship went to the nearest planet, not the home system like I thought it was gonna. Learn something new every day, apparently. Alrighty, so this is our starbase over here, where where our border is with them. And we can go over to defenses, and we can add some defense platforms to make this even stronger and less likely that they could even blast through it. I'm not gonna. And that's only really because I don't really feel like it. And I don't have the minerals. I'd much rather use those minerals to get more ships. Which, luckily, after this, we're going to have the full 20 we asked for. But as you can see, once we get up to the 20, we're probably going to be dang close to the 114 that our starbase is. And they're, like I said, equivalent to me. We look into this, yeah, they're equivalent. Which means they got to have at least that much military power in their fleets too. Which means on its own, the starbase probably won't be able to fight them off. It'll probably be able to do some serious damage to them, but it won't be able to fight them off. That being said, that's why you kind of want to have a military fleet nearby, station it on there, and whoever basically is defending with their starbase, so long as there's not an overwhelming amount of difference in your firepower, you're going to win. And let's see here. A terrible sight to behold. As we began to pick up more and more visual images of the aliens known as Sadie Menace, it was inevitable that these would be eventually leaked to the wider public. Their appearance has provoked widespread dismay amongst our populace, who have taken them to describing them as repulsive parasites. Already many are demanding that we take action to deal with the new molluscoid threat. And of course, we can either drop our greatest guys, their approval of us, or just get more xenophobes, which, oh no, how horrible. But here's the thing, they're receptive to us, which means they want to be friends, which is both handy and not so handy for us. Very handy in which case they are, they're probably not going to be immediately against us. Not so handy in the fact that they are probably friendly with everybody. They're probably a xenophile, and those guys like to make allies a lot. Like a lot. So needless to say, they're probably going to be having an alliance with somebody at some point. And while I could go and rip them apart, probably not a good idea to try to do that. Probably not a good idea. Ah, dang. In case you were wondering, I was going to try to get up here, but yeah, unsurprising, they managed to get through here. They managed to get to here. Now, one thing I definitely want to do is I want to get over to here and get this system. Because while anomalies, so long as they're like this, are only yours, archaeological sites are everyone's. Meaning, if they manage to take this spot, I would never be able to, even if I managed to take it over, if they went and finished it, I wouldn't be able to finish it. It would be theirs. The good thing about archaeological spots is that they will give you, I thought it was in the societal management. They'll give you, yeah, it is. Okay, anyways, they give you various items that give you various bonuses that you can activate. Alright, Saudi Menace. Initial readings of the Saudi Menace signals left the envoy, whatever his name, bewildered. They seem to be mainly white noise, devoid of anything which could be recognized as a language. For a time, there was even doubts as to whether we were dealing with the utterings of an intelligent species, despite the visual evidence of their use of technology. It was only when our researchers experimented with tuning our instruments to detect sounds well outside the normal range of frequency of our ears that patterns indicated of a language were detected. Unfortunately, this poses considerable challenges for our quest to come to understand them, since we will not be able to hear them at all without assistance. Now, we have one of two options. We can either say, we will persevere, which will take a while, or we can throw cash at the problem. I'm throwing cash at the problem. Even though we're running the risk of becoming, well, starting to go down. Speaking of going down, we are... Perfect. Yes, we are going to make civilian industries over here because while we could make the heavy industries, or mixed industries, I would rather go with civilian. If for no other reason than just to ensure... then again, the mixed industry does help out quite a bit. We'll go with the mixed. Next, we are going to go with a... You know, we're going to go with a precinct house, because there's a lot of crime here, and we're going to need to deal with that. For you, we are going to go with a... Yes, we'll go with a mining support. Yes. And that gets rid of all of the... minerals we managed to accumulate. Unfortunate. But, oh well. Ah, yes. And speaking of which, we are going to need... Oh, hey, we can specialize. Cool. So obviously, you can specialize the generator, mining, and agricultural districts too. Just as you can do that for the urban core. Okay, where was I? Ah, yes. Ah, yes, ah, yes, ah, yes. I was going to make... Ooh, I guess I'm not gonna make any armies. Well, I guess I can, but it's not gonna be an easy one. Like I said, when you're going up against these guys, you're gonna want an army that's at least half of them. Preferably same number as them. Preferably same number as them. You don't have to do the same number as them, but it'd be a good idea to do so. Okay, so now we gotta pick a new one. So, what do we want to do? You know what? I like taking prosperity because then that just boosts your economy even more. And here's more pre-FDL races. Ah. Oh well. I will say, aside from the fact that we're losing consumer goods pretty good, we're doing very well for the early game. We're doing very well for the early game. And honestly, realistically speaking, the only reason we're losing so many is because of our populations. We're losing it because of our populations. That's the only reason we're losing all of that. Alrighty, and our reactors just got finished. So, what do we want to do next? Honestly speaking, I'm going to do research station output. Mostly because the others are not all that important in my eyes. And I'll also upgrade the ships. Now, when you're playing a xenophobic empire, you don't have to be everybody. You don't have to be the big boogeyman for everybody. You don't have to go and fight everybody. You don't have to go and, you know, be the big bad boogeyman. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can make friends. You can have allies to a certain degree. It's just going to take you quite a while to do that. It's going to be a bit difficult to do that. So I wouldn't advise trying too hard or being too super worried about any of that, honestly. Jeez, we are just unlocking everything, aren't we? Ah, yep, right here. See? Space torpedoes. And this is the G. That's the torpedo component slot. And these are just combat computers. We'll, of course, be going with it because it unlocks a whole crud ton of different stuff. And I want that. And And we've decoded it. Although it proved a considerable challenge, we have managed to decode the form of communication used by the Saudi menace significantly to establish preliminary contact. It seems that they call themselves the Hythian United Stars. Inevitably, communication can only happen with the help of communication systems specifically tuned to their language. This would be problematic for hopes of fluent conversations with them, but our researchers see it differently. Buoyed by their success? Weird. And still benefiting from the extra funding we provided them, they have drawn up a proposal to consolidate our learnings from this experience into something that will be of generally applicable use. They believe that by fine-tuning the software used here, they would be able to build what they call a universal translator, which, if provided with enough information, will be able to instantaneously suggest translations for phrases uttered in any given language. Okay, so, because we spent a cold crap ton of money there, we got a pretty good result. First, we got the universal translator, which I really don't know what it does, but I'm willing to bet it probably helps with establishing first contacts quicker. We got influence, and we got more intel with them. Now, oh boy, well, good and bad news. 2 of their 3 ethics are the opposite of us. They are a pacifist, which means they don't like war. They're a xenophile, which means they like people, all peoples. And they're egalitarian, which means they want everybody to live they want everybody to be equal. Which, the opposite of that would be authoritative, which thankfully we don't have. And you might notice we have the option to be kind. That's because we weren't aggressive with them. We are, of course, going to be kind to them because we want peace. We don't want war, we want peace. And they're already suspicious, so I'm going to assign one of our envoys to be with them. And we're going to open borders with them because we don't want them to be aggressive with us. But they are harming our relations. And we have another one. Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. Good. So this is another, oh hey, it's these guys specifically. So, this is a, kind of a, well, you know city-states and civilization? They're basically that, only they're way less important. Way less important. If we're going with Civ 5 standards, where the Shardlings are the barbarians, these guys are basically a slightly weaker version of a city-state. Most of them won't provide you any sort of troops or anything like that, but they will provide other economic benefits so long as you're willing to pay a price. Those guys specifically are psychic dudes, I believe. Basically not very much important to me specifically. I don't really do the psionics too often. And I think much like the roamers, they too do not go and do first contact themselves. You have to do first contact with them. Alright, yes, I thought so. Okay. So because of our infiltration level being so dang high, we have our intel level going up now, finally. So yeah, you very much want the infiltration levels stay high. And we're launching the prepare sleeper cells because I'm going to need to be able to leave here. Now, unfortunately, it is going to cost us some energy to maintain this, to actually do this operation. But we are using the internal organs we got to make it way easier to get this done. And of course, they just had to close their borders to us. Unfortunate. And because they closed their borders while our science vessels are in there, they can't do anything. They had to be sent back. Unfortunate, unfortunate. But it'll be fine. Like I said, these guys they're harming relations with us while we're trying to improve them. Not fun, not good. But we can. Nope. Well, we could make them a little bit happier with us by providing some information on these guys. That'll make them slightly happier with us. Slightly. But yeah, since they are, of course, 2 of 3 against us, they're not going to be too happy with us for quite a while. They'll be kind of against us. Hopefully, they change their minds here relatively soon, and I can break out my science ship without having to build a whole new one. Because that's a whole bunch of alloys I really don't want to have to waste if I don't have to. I really don't want to have to waste the alloys if I don't have to. But, oh well. And just a fair warning, yes, these guys could 100% jump through here if they have open borders with these guys, which, well, the way you can check is to go into here, select one of you, go to their map, aha, and see, while you have one of their ships, star bases, whatever highlighted, it will actually show you what their border policy is. And right now, obviously, they have open borders with themselves, but as soon as we off-click it, the blue that is open changes to red that tells you it's closed. Obviously, over here, it's the same for them. The reason why it's still blue is because they haven't really closed off their borders to each other just yet. Just yet. But it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen because, well, these guys are the same as us. They are a xenophobic, militaristic empire. They are going to be very much, yes, they are going to be very much anti-them as much as they are anti-us. The only reason they haven't closed their borders yet, I think, is because it just hasn't been that long since they got communications. So they're still trying to figure shit out. Which, fair enough. Construction complete. Anyways, sorry, as I was saying, yes, they could jump through here, and so long as they have the influence to pay the cost, they could take this system. You can take whatever system, so long as there's enough space. Ooh, and these guys are really, really going up high, aren't they? Jeez. Once I finish up here, I should really race to get down here, because, yeah. You don't want to go and lose any of the archaeological sites. They are very dang handy. Oh, they still don't have closed borders with them, huh? Oh well. Oh well. Alrighty. But these guys are definitely going to be a problem. They are definitely going to be a slight problem. The good news is they're pacifists and such, so they don't really have the natural bonuses we have to our Navy capacity. However, like I said, they usually build up a federation or something like that, so if you want to kill them, you better kill them early before they have a chance to actually, make a group. And our sleeper cells is done. Nice. Why are you making me a rival? Fine. Well, that's what happens. Not fun. Not great. But it happens. You can't always go in. Sometimes you're lucky and the pacifists already have several enemies, so they would rather have a additional, at least friendly face to talk with. But yeah, sometimes you're just unlucky and they haven't met anybody who is aggressive and you're just the first bad guy that they meet and you gotta deal with that. It's not fun, it's not great, but it happens. Alrighty. And we are, of course, going to land. And as you see, these guys are actually putting up more of a decent fight than the previous group. That's why I said it's better to have at least the same number. Because, yeah, sure, you realistically don't have to have the same number. So long as you're okay with losing a guy or two. I am not okay with losing a guy or two. I don't want to lose a guy or two. So, I didn't. And yeah, you see that this is out of this one's range because it's, well, four systems too far away. Unfortunate. And of course, they are unstable because of course they would be. Why wouldn't they be? We'll give y'all jobs. Upgrade that. And we're going to need to give you guys jobs too. So let's have you be... Well, I think we're just gonna do farming support here, too. There. Now we're losing energy credits. Just a little bit, but we're still losing energy credits. Unfortunate. But it is what it is. But now we will be focusing on going down this way. Good news is we only have 5 of these. Bad news is they only have 2 to get to there. Well, technically 3 if you want to add the third, but yeah, they only have to do 2 of these to get through to him. That's unfortunate. The good news is the constructors for the AIs, most of the time, so long as there's not an immediate, obvious threat to you closing them off, normally you can just get away. Normally they just have their constructors build the stations in the system. So for each of these, they're going to not only build the research stations, but also the observation stations, which is another thing you can do with the FTL, the pre-FTLs, is build observation stations, and they occasionally provide you with science research and such. Which, okay, I really don't care too much about that. Even when I'm playing a goody-goody two-shoes guy, most of the time I don't really pay too close of attention to him. Alrighty, yes. So we're just going through these guys. They are obviously a intelligent race of actual people. Send our science ships to keep exploring. Yada yada yada. The Tanukis. Yes. The spaceborne life forms, which the human head of societal research has come to refer to as Tanuki, whatever, are docile creatures, capable of accessing some lower dimension of subspace. They roam from space to space with remarkable ease. They graze on gases common to the upper layers of many gas planets. It is highly unlikely, to say the least, that this is their only food source, but intake of other nutrients has yet to be observed. They will rarely, if ever, attack, even when provoked. They can be safely ignored. Hunting them would be a net loss anyways. And with that, we get frequency tuning, which helps with... yes, it's a weapon. It's a weapon for doing some damage, and I've never really used the weapon itself. I don't really think it's that good. Real thing I'm happy about is the influence gain. No. Okay. The actions of the Tanuki inhabiting Tinuk Orc system do not match known behavior patterns of their species. While Tanuki are usually nomadic, these herds remain stationed around a planet entirely covered in the carcasses of their own dead. Attempts to study the burial grounds have been hindered by a net of tentacles of the Tanukis wrapped around the planet, making further research impossible unless we were willing to displace or dispose of the gravekeepers. Yeah, no, like I said, I'm not killing the space whales. The space whales are nice people. I am not killing the space whales. The space whales are good people. We are not harming the space whales. And I gotta wait for... Well, no, I don't have to wait. It would be a good idea, but I'm not gonna. Do need to keep an eye on my minerals, though. I mean, on my consumer goods, because that's going to eventually have some problems. Yep, consumer goods are going down. Good news is we're making a whole crap ton of food, so we can just sell that and then just buy what we need there. Bad news is, as our empire grows, we're going to eventually not going to be able to rely on just selling food. Oh, we got... Aha! Here we are. We got the slave armies. I should not be as happy about that as I think. Okay, so this is xenolinguistics. It gives us influence. Allows us to recruit renowned leaders. Increases our first contact speed. And, of course, unlocks the Starbase building interstellar recruitment beacon. Basically, this helps out a lot empire-wide. You build these in the Starbases. The upgrades to the outposts, and this helps your leadership experience, makes any leaders you recruit outside your empire have an extra level, and it increases the chance that these renowned leaders will appear. They won't appear immediately, or they could. It's really just a chance, like it says. So we'll go with that, obviously. The influence itself is an amazing thing. And it appears that some criminal organization is doing some work here. So I'm gonna have to go and do some stuff here. Meh. But that's fine.
System survey complete.
That's fine. We can do this. Okay, plan infrastructure upkeep. Of course, we'll go that down because that'll help our energy credits not be so high. Deficit not being so high. And we'll just keep making our ships. Yep, they are straight up hostile with us. Oh well. Not great, not great at all. Well, we're still making progress on getting these guys all settled. And since we got an envoy now cleared up, we'll of course toss you there. And we'll keep building up this infiltration level and of course our intel. And honestly, although we haven't done much, I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. Oh, after we see what new technology we're going to get. Alrighty. Oh, yep, we're definitely getting shields. Without a doubt, we're getting shields. Not gonna even argue we're getting shields, because we're gonna be going to war here soon, and we're gonna need them. Okay, so, yes, I think that is where we're going to leave it for today. Met a new alien species, tried to get them to be our friends, they refused. We figured out what the space whales were given the option to either wipe them out or move them. We obviously aren't going to hurt the space whales. And we're slowly but surely, very slowly but surely, inching our way down towards this archaeological site / choke point before our, unfortunately, new enemies can. So far, it looks like they're focused on getting up here under their control, which is good-ish. Not great, but good. Well, I'm going to leave you guys here. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Sayonara.